Hello dear students, as you know, we are facing COVID pandemic, and because of that, it is very important for us to keep ourselves safe and keep the near and dear ones also safe. Please follow the guidelines whatever given to you. Please avoid going outside unnecessarily. If it is very necessary, then you have to go. We know that, but please go avoid going outside. Now coming back to its study, we are doing? We are doing chapter number 9, ray optics. Till in the last video lecture, we have discussed about total internal reflection, but we have not solved any numerical on the basics of TIR. So today we are going to solve some numerical, and if possible, I am going to introduce the refraction through spherical surface also. So let us solve the first numerical. I am making the diagram, and from the diagram only the question will come. So the diagram is like the diagram which is given in the question is one water tank is there. Okay, one water tank is there, and in this water tank, up to this height, suppose the water is filled. Up to this height, the water is filled. Okay, let this height be 50 centimeter. 50 centimeter. Now the question is, if at the bottom at some point one bulb is placed, then what will be the area? What will be the area through which light comes out from the water? This is the question. What is the area through which the light comes out from the water? Now we need to understand why this area need to be calculated. Now suppose what happens from the bulb, the ray of light which goes straight upward, it will go straight upward, it will not face any kind of refraction. But as we move away from this, what happens? The angle of incidence start increasing. Okay, as you can see, the angle of incidence, just see in this case, the angle of incidence is very small. Here the bigger one, here I think it is the biggest one among three. So angle of incidence it start increasing. So at some point of time, for some angle, this angle of incidence becomes critical angle, and for that ray of light goes like this. Now this ray of light which falls at an angle greater than critical angle, it will bounce back. It will not go outside. So whatever the amount of light is going beyond this, all the rays will be falling inside only. They will be totally internal reflected. But this light will go in the second medium, that is in air. So basically up to this, the ray of light is going outside, and after this all the lights are reflected back because they are falling at an angle greater than critical angle. The same will go this side also. For some particular value of angle of incidence, for some angle, this, let this be C, ray of light goes like this. After this, all the lights will be reflected back. So basically here I am going to have a circle on the water surface. A circle on the water surface through which the light is going outside, after which the light is reflected back. It is something like this. If this is your water surface, say if this is your water surface and this is the bulb which is placed at the bottom. So basically from the bulb will have a kind of surface like this. Okay, so from this part of water surface the light will come out, and from this part light is being reflected back. So this is how the light will behave inside the water, because light is going from denser medium to rare medium, and it is for these rays it is falling at an angle greater than critical angle. Okay, so from here we need to find out what is the area of this circle, because this is the area through which the light is coming out, and for calculating the area we must know what is the radius. So let us try to find out the radius. If this angle is C, critical angle, so this angle is also going to C. Okay, now about C, first of all let us try to find out the C. So sine C is equal to what? So sine C is equal to 1 upon refractive index, or mu rare upon mu denser. Here that mu rare upon mu denser, mu rare is going to be 1 because it is air, and for water the refractive index is 4 by 3. So it will be 1 upon 4 by 3. 3 goes in the numerator. So sine C is equal to what? 3 by 4. Now just see, if this is C, so this angle is also C. So if I take this triangle, say B, A, and let this point be, let this point in, we can name anything, let it be D. So if this triangle is taken BAD, then this triangle sine C is equal to 3 by 4, then what will be the value of tan C? Tan C is equal to what? So sine C is perpendicular upon hypotenuse. Tan C is equal to perpendicular. Perpendicular is 3 upon hypotenuse. Hypotenuse is going to be 4 square, which is 16, minus 3 square, which is 9. So it is going to be 3 upon under root 7. This is the value of tan C. But in right angle triangle, from figure, tan C is equal to what? So let's say this is your R. So AD, perpendicular will act, and base will be AB. So AD is what? R, and AB is given, it is 50 centimeter. So this value of tan C and this value of tan C we are going to equate. So R is going to be what? R upon 50 is going to be what? It is going to be equal to 3 upon root 7. So 50 is transferred to that side. So it will be 150 upon root 7 centimeter. So this is the value of R. And if R is known, I think area can be calculated very easily. Area will be equal to what? Pi r square. Pi is equal to 22 by 7. R square is 150 multiplied by 150 upon under root 7 square, it is 7. So now if we multiply all this, we are going to have our answer. I hope you can multiply. I hope you can give your answer. So this is the solution of the question given. This question is given in NCERT. This question is almost in all the books of class 12th. All the books of class 12th. Okay. So you need to note down this question. It is very important. Pause the screen and note down. I am moving to the next question. Next question. It is related to a prism. A prism is given whose angle is 60 degree. It is being given that a ray of light strikes on this surface. Say this is your A, this is your B, this is your C. Question is, for what value of refractive index of material of the prism so that the light grazes the face CB. This is the question. For what value of a refractive index of material of the prism so that the light grazes the face CB? What does the question mean? Question says that the ray of light should come here, but after this it goes like this. It should go like this. So what should be the value of refractive index of the material of the prism? Okay, so this is how the ray of light should go. So let us put a normal over here. So if I put a normal, this angle is 60, so this is going to be 30 degree. If this is 30, this is 90, so this is going to be 60. So this angle is going to be 30 degree. So here that angle of incidence is 30 degree and angle of refraction is 90 degree. Question becomes very easy. Now, if this refractive index is mu, so mu sine 30 degree must be equal to, say this is your air, so for air refractive index is 1 into sine 90 degree, value of sine 90 is also 1. So mu is equal to, mu into sine 30 is 1 by 2 is equal to 1, so mu is equal to what? 2. Answer. This is how we solve this question. Okay, let us move ahead. Next question. In the question it is given that a right angle isosceles prism is there. Isosceles prism, so basically this angle and this angle is going to be equal. 3 rays of lights are falling on it. One is red color, one is blue color, and one is green color. Obviously we know that refractive index of the material of the prism depends upon the color also. So refractive index for red color, it is 1.39. Refractive index of blue color, it is 1.44, and refractive index of green color, let it be 1.49. Okay, VIB GYOR. VIB, after B it is G, so green color refractive index should be greater, so it will be 1.44. Okay, so this is how data are given. I have taken the data as hypothetically. In the books data may be something different. Question is, trace the path of the rays. Trace the path of rays. Okay, this is the question. Given all these values, and this is the question, trace the path of the rays. Okay, it is also given that the prism is isosceles, so this angle is going to be 45. Now the question is, all the rays will not undergo refraction from here, so the rays all will be going like this. So now what happens? Ray of light is moving from denser medium to the rarer medium. So if they fall at an angle greater than critical angle, they'll be reflected back. And if they fall at an angle less than critical angle, they'll be refracted outside. And if they fall at critical angle, they'll be going at 90 degree. Okay, they'll be grazing along the surface as we have done in the last question. So basically now how we can calculate the critical angle for each. So it is quite a difficult task if a refractive index is given and then to calculate critical angle, because for critical angle, if we see mu rare is 1 air, and suppose for red color I am calculating the critical angle, so red color refractive index is 1.39. How I am going to calculate this and find the value of C? If I am not having a scientific calculator, and if I don't learn all the table of sine table, how can we calculate? We cannot. So this is a very difficult task to calculate C for red, for blue, for green. C means critical angle. We cannot calculate critical angle for red color, we cannot calculate critical angle for blue color, same goes with green also. So I'm going to take a different approach, and that different approach is, if I see the diagram very minutely, I find that angle of incidence in each case is 45 degree. Just see, if this angle is 45, this is also 45, this is also 45, so this angle is 45. For each of them, angle of incidence is 45. What I need to find out now, the critical angle of red color is either it is greater than 45 or less than 45. That's it. Angle of incidence is 45. So whether to calculate critical angle and to find whether it is greater than or less than, I don't need the value of critical angle. I just need to know that whether the C, that is a critical angle, is less than 45 or greater than 45. That is, I need a range. I don't need a particular value of C. So let us start how we can calculate that. So if 45 is assumed to be critical angle, then sine 45 is equal to what? Refractive index of rare medium, which is 1, and refractive index of denser medium, which we don't know, let it be mu. So sine 45 is equal to what? 1 by root 2 is equal to 1 by mu. So basically mu is equal to root 2. So for refractive index root 2, For refractive index root 2, critical angle is 45. For mu is equal to root 2, C is equal to what? 45 degree. Now just see. Now mu r, which is equal to 1.39, is less than mu, which is equal to root 2. Mu of r is less than mu. Mu is given 1.39 and mu which we have calculated is root 2. Refractive index and wavelength. If we compare refractive index and wavelength, I have already told you that it is inversely proportional. Okay, it is inversely proportional, right? And here also, if critical angle and this one we compare, then we find that sine C is actually, for air it is 1, so 1 upon mu. So C and mu, they are inversely proportional. Critical angle is inversely proportional to mu. So basically mu of red color is less than mu, that is a root 2. So red color, for critical angle of red color, here it is less, and since it is inversely proportional, so it will be greater than 45 degree. Critical angle of red color is greater than 45 degree. Let me repeat. Mu of red color is less than mu of root 2. So for mu of red color, whatever be the critical angle, and for mu is equal to root 2, critical angle is 45. So if I compare critical angle of this and this, since they are inversely proportional, angle and refractive index, so here it is less than, so here should be greater than. So critical angle of red color is greater than 45. So basically angle of incidence for red color is less than critical angle because it is 45 and critical angle assumed is greater than 45. So basically what will happen? Red color will refract and it will go in other medium. It will go in other medium. Okay. Now let us come to blue color. Mu of blue color, which is given as 1.49, it is greater than mu, which is we have calculated as root 2. So critical angle of blue color, since here it is greater, so it should be less than 45. So critical angle of blue color is less than 45 and ray of light is striking on 45. So 45 is greater than critical angle of blue color. So what will happen? Blue color will reflect and it will go downward. Internally reflect, 45 angle of incidence, 45 angle of reflection. It will go downward. Same goes with green also, because refractive index of green color, which is 1.44, is greater than mu, which is 1.414, value of root 2. So basically critical angle for green color should be less than 45, and again for green color will also come downward by reflection. So red color will pass through the prism and green color and blue color, they are reflected back. Okay. So this is how we trace the path, and this is the whole calculation, and this is the whole question about. So this is all about your TIR. 2 or 3 important questions were there. I have discussed all of them. Okay, rest of the question you try by yourself. If you are not able to solve, then let me know. We'll discuss that. Okay. Now I'm moving to the refraction through spherical surfaces. I'm removing this. Pause the screen and note down. The next topic is refraction through spherical surfaces. Refraction through spherical surfaces. Now just try to understand. Now what are spherical surfaces? We have discussed them already. The spherical surfaces are part of a sphere. There are 2 types, concave surface and convex surface. There can be 6 cases related to it. I am going to do 1 or 2. Rest of you try by yourself. So I am going to do concave surface. Concave surface. I am going to solve it for rare to denser medium. Okay. 1 concave and 1 convex I'll do. Rest of you solve by yourself. Okay. So let us make the ray diagram. For concave surface, how the ray diagram will be like? So this is a concave surface. this is pole of the surface, right? Midpoint of the aperture, and somewhere here its center of curvature will also be there, so let it be C. Okay, now if the object, it's somewhere here, object, so from the object one ray goes along the principal axis, it does not deviate, it goes in the straight line. Another ray falls on the spherical surface. Now what will happen? It will deviate. Now ray of light is moving from a rare medium to a denser medium. So basically it will bend towards the normal. It will bend towards the normal. Let the center of curvature be somewhere here. So from the center of curvature, if I draw a normal, so normal will be something like this. Now ray of light is going this way. Now ray of light is going this way and has to bend towards the normal because it is going from rare medium to denser medium. So ray of light is going this way, this is the original path of ray, and it has to bend towards the normal, so it will bend upward. So this ray of light will go something like this from here, and if I take this ray behind, so somewhere here the image will be formed. Okay. Now angle, incidence angle and the normal, incident ray and the normal. Here the angle of incidence is made. Refracted ray and the normal. Here that refraction of ray angle R is made. Okay. Object is supposed to be at angle alpha. Image is supposed to be at angle beta, and center of curvature is gamma. Okay. Center of curvature is at gamma. Suppose it is at gamma angle. Okay. Let me write the distances also. PO, it is considered to be object distance minus U because it is this side. The direction of incident light is this way and PO is going this side, so it has to be negative. Image distance PI, it is also negative because we are moving this side. PC is the radius of curvature, it is also negative, minus PR. Let this distance be A. Okay, let that point be A. Now what I am going to do, I am going to apply Snell's law simply. So from Snell's law, just see, mu1 is the refractive index, I is the angle, so it will be mu1 sin I is equal to mu2. What is the angle over here? R. So it will be mu1 sin I is equal to mu2 sin R. Very good. Now what we have discussed already in the very beginning, I have told you that the assumptions are there to study ray optics, that all the rays are paraxial. Since rays are paraxial and therefore I and R are very small, and if they are very small, we can consider that sin I is approximately equal to I and sin R is approximately equal to R. So if I put over there, I'll have mu1 I is equal to mu2 R. Now just see in the figure, where is that I? I is somewhere here. It is in the triangle OAC. I is there. So gamma is the exterior angle and I and alpha are in the exterior angle. So I plus alpha will be equal to gamma. I plus alpha, their interior angles, is equal to gamma. So the value of I will be gamma minus alpha. I am going to replace it here. So mu1, it will be gamma minus alpha. Mu2 for R. If this angle is R, from vertically opposite, this angle is also R. And if this is R, this is in the triangle IAC. Gamma is exterior angle, R and beta are interior angles. So gamma will be equal to what? Beta plus R. So R will be gamma minus beta. So here it will be gamma minus beta. Okay. Just see, R plus beta in this triangle, they are interior angles. IAC. If they are interior angles, so gamma will be equal to r plus beta. So r will be equal to gamma minus beta. I have put over there. So what I'm going to do now, gamma and gamma I'm going to take together. So this gamma is transferred to that side, and let this beta is transferred to this side. So this minus will come over, it will become plus. So it will be like mu 2 beta minus mu 1 alpha is equal to, if I take gamma common, what I'll be having? Mu 2 minus mu 1. Okay, mu 2 minus mu 1. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the values of alpha, beta and gamma. Let this be question number 1. I'm going to put the values of alpha, beta and gamma, and from where I can put alpha, you must be knowing that angle is equal to arc upon radius. Angle is equal to the basic formula, angle is equal to arc upon radius. Okay, so from here I am going to do the same. Angle alpha is equal to arc. What is arc? Arc can be PA and the radius can be PO. So alpha can be equal to, just see, PA upon PO. In the same manner, beta can be equal to, just say, PA upon PI. PA upon PI. And the gamma is equal to what? PA upon PC. I'm going to put all these values over here. So from 1, just see what I'm going to have here. Here, mu 2 beta. Mu 2 beta, what is beta? Beta is PA upon PI minus mu 1 alpha. So what is mu 1? Mu 1 is mu 1. Alpha is PA upon PO is equal to what? Gamma. Gamma is PA upon PC whole upon, in the bracket, mu 2 minus mu 1. So PA, PA and PA, it is everywhere, and in the result it will be nowhere. So PA will be cancelled out. Mu 2. What is PI? PI is minus V. It is image distance. Minus mu 1 upon U. PO is U, minus U. So it will be minus U. PA is cancelled, 1 upon R. So it will be like mu 2 minus mu 1. PC is what? Minus R. If I remove negative sign from everywhere, I'll be having mu 2 upon V minus mu 1 upon U is equal to mu 2 minus mu 1 upon R. So this is the formula of a refracting surface when the surface is concave. When the surface is concave. I hope the ray diagram is clear. I hope the derivation is clear. Okay, if you have any doubt in any of the step, just rewind it a bit. You'll be getting all your answers. Okay, and if you have any problem, let me know. We'll discuss that also. Now suppose if the rare medium is air, if what I'm going to do is, okay, if the rare medium is air, if the rare medium is air, so in that case mu 1 will be mu 1 will be 1. For rare medium, for air it is 1. So in that case mu 2 will be mu. So if I put it over there, it will be like mu upon V minus 1 upon U is equal to mu minus 1 upon R. If I divide mu from all the side, I'll be having 1 upon V minus 1 upon U is equal to, it will be like, if I am dividing by mu, so it will be like mu, when it is divided by mu, it will become 1 minus, okay, let me correct it. Okay, we don't divide it by mu. We'll be considering this as our answer. We'll be considering this as our answer. Okay, so if mu 1 is air, so it will be mu 1 will be 1, mu 2 let it be then mu in that case, because there is no point of taking mu 2. So it will be mu minus V upon mu 1 upon U is equal to mu minus 1 upon R. This is the formula we are going to get in all the cases. This is the formula we are going to get in all the cases. Only what is the thing which is different? If you are solving it for denser to rare, mu 2 and mu 1 get exchanged. In that case, it would be like mu 1 upon V minus mu 2 upon U is equal to mu 1 minus mu 2 upon R. In that case, it would be like that. But here it is rare to denser. In the rare to denser, it will be always like this. Okay. So this is how the refraction through a spherical surface takes place. In the next video lecture, I'll be discussing convex surface, and again we'll see the same formula will come, and then after we'll try to solve some questions on the basis of this formula. Okay, so this is all for the day. Please keep yourself safe. Please keep your near and dear ones safe. Okay, thank you.